Hey Nova, here's your market update for November 2024. Let's get into it. So to start, we're going to look at one of the best indicators about the health of our market, which is our supply and demand. So in Fairfax County in October 2024, we had 1.27 months of supply, which is up just about 16% from October 2023. And in Loudoun County, we had 1.27 months of inventory, which is down just about 6% from this time last year. Now, if we compare that from September, so we look at a month-to-month comparison, in both Loudoun and Fairfax County, we are down slightly in the amount of inventory that we have, which isn't surprising given the time of year. Now, if we look at the amount of time that a property is lasting on the market, our median days on market, in Fairfax County in October, we had a median days on market of 8, which is the exact same as this time in 2023. And in Loudoun County, we had a median days on market of 9, which is up about 30% from October 2023. Now, if we then look at how this compares to September, so a month-to-month comparison, we're down just slightly on our median days on market in both counties. The median days on market has gone down 1 day from September. Now, if we take a look at the actual number of transactions to have taken place in October in both Loudoun and Fairfax County, in Fairfax County, there were 963 transactions, which is up about 12% from October 2023. And in Loudoun County, there were 463 transactions, which is up about 36% from this time last year. If we look at that on a month-to-month comparison, in September, there were slightly less homes to sell in Loudoun County, and in Fairfax, there were slightly less homes to sell in Fairfax County. Now, if we look at how that compares to September, we had slightly more transactions close in October than in September, but I would expect as we enter into the winter months that we see that number trend down a little bit, which was exactly what we would expect at this time of year. And finally, if we look at what homes are selling for in relation to what they are listed for, in both Loudoun and Fairfax County, things are selling for just about 100% of their list price, which is exactly what we were seeing in October of last year. If we compare that to September, so a month-to-month comparison for this data point, we were pretty much neck and neck with how things were selling in September. Now, what's interesting about this is that this really has to do with how the property was priced to begin with. So there is some human error that can kind of play into this variable, but for the most part, things are selling for at or just above list price in both Loudoun and Fairfax County. Now, here are a few strategic tips depending upon whether you're an upcoming buyer or seller. There's an interesting stat that came out for the election that said that 23% of home buyers were putting their search on hold until after the election was over. I would venture to say that a huge portion of them will not pick their search back up until 2025, maybe not even until spring of 2025. So if you're really serious about buying a house in the next 6 to 12 months, it might be in your best interest to stay in the market through the winter where you might find yourself in less competition. Now, if you are a seller, election year or not, my advice at this time of year is always to do some of the prep work before you hit the holidays, because you might surprise yourself based on market dynamics if you're getting advice from a real estate professional how early in the year, if you have the ability to be flexible on your timing, how early in the year you might be motivated to put your house on the market. It's a little bit of a myth that the best time to sell is in April, May, and June, because what we see in Northern Virginia is a lot of the buyers are out in full force by middle of January to early February, and not all of the spring inventory has hit the market. So there can sometimes be a sweet spot for sellers if you're prepared to list in what we would call the early spring market, which might actually feel like the late winter market. If you want to understand how all this data ties together to impact the decisions that you should be making for you and your family, click the link below for a free strategy session.